Hello people, welcome back to my channel. I am in a vertical line because that's the theme of the video, okay? This is mobile editing of images that I've taken with my Google Pixel 2. I did a poll on Instagram and turns out some of you guys really wanted to see how I edit images, which is amazing because I've been wanting to do editing tutorials for a little while, but knowing that, you know, there's an interest out there is amazing. So yeah, I used only one app that I believe, you know, most people have nowadays anyway, and you know, I'm going to show you some ways that I do it, possibly a little bit different. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Please like and share and show some love. I am new to this, even though I do video editing a lot for other people. I haven't had time to do my own YouTube, which I would like to do more of, and if I get the support I might do it more. So yeah, let's get into it. Here we are, you can see all my apps. Oh hey! But this time we're not going to be using like a fancy Lightroom preset or anything like that. We're going to be going into VSCO, which I think a lot of people have, and I already have the two images that I want to edit, and here we are. Usually, or what I think people usually do, is just choose one of the presets that are already here and then just save it and go. We're gonna go a little bit deeper into it, that's the way I like it, and see what's all of this, what we can do when we go into every single one of them and see what changes. So for this image, I want to use the M5 filter, but we're gonna, if you press it again, you can then go into it and like lower it or apply it fully. I want it to just hit like 9.23, something like that, and you can already see the changes. It's already more summery, it's a bit more warm, you know, but we're gonna add more tint. So if you press the second button here, see all these options here are great tools. So if you go all the way to the right, you can find the shadows and highlights tint, which I love. Not for every image, but you know, if you want to go a little bit saturated, if you want to add some kind of oomph, this is perfect. So we're gonna go into shadows and we're gonna add the red tint. You can lower it if it's too much, but I want to leave it at 12, and then press the tick and then go into highlights, and this time we are gonna pick the second color, whatever color that is. I don't know what color that is but I'm gonna lower that to like 5. Look at that, look at that. Then what I don't like about this image is this is taken on phone, so it has a little bit of like the light coming overhead, which is faded, and everything else isn't. So I'm gonna try and kind of work around it with the fade tool and add a little bit of fade to the whole image, around like 5, somewhere around there, whatever looks best, and then work on the shadows as well. So just bring that up a little bit to like 1.8. Now this looks too faded, so let's go back and work on like exposure and contrast. So first I'm gonna add a little bit of exposure. When I say a little bit, I mean a little bit more like 0.5. Okay, and then contrast, add a little bit of contrast back because we've taken a lot out of it, so like maybe here. And then what I also do is sometimes I sharpen the image, but you have to be quite careful with it because it can look a little bit crazy. Like if you go all the way here, it loses the quality, it's not great. So I'm just gonna sharpen it like at 2. And here we are, the change is massive. What I do love to do is I add some grain for like artsy effect. I really love it and it's easy to do, and voila, this is it literally. I think it looks summery, I think it's great for Instagram. So this is the before and this is the after, just done on the phone on one app. So we're gonna save that one, and I also want to show you how I edit this image. So the same principle, I want to kind of match the theme, so there's not going to be a lot different, but we are going to choose the M5 again, and this time, before I was lowering this, but I'm gonna leave it to 12 for this image, but then I'm gonna go in the second one. I do like going into the shadows tint and highlight tint, I'm not gonna lie. So this time, instead of the red, we're gonna choose the orange one and lower it to around like 6 point something, and then go into the highlights and also pick the second color and lower it way down to like 3.7. Already looks so much better. It already looks so summery, like safari vibes, really great. Then I want to go into the tint and just touch on it just slightly, not too much. And then also skin tint, I just want a little bit of like, I think it changes it to like more copper kind of color, and I like that. And then also we're gonna go into temperature, which we didn't do for the first image. And here I'm just gonna lower it a little bit to -1, just slightly. And the tint basically makes it either, you know, really warm or really cool. I just want to lower it to like -1 on the bluish side, just to kind of bring back the blue sky and that kind of sort of thing, and not make it too yellow. And then I'm gonna do the same thing that I did before, so I'm gonna bring up the shadows a little bit, not that much, to like 2.5, just a touch, and then go into contrast and add contrast in again. And then again we can sharpen it just a touch, just literally a touch. And then if you want, I'm not going to do it this time, but you can add the grain again. I think this image doesn't really need it, but what I do want to do is add some vignette. And yeah, you can go like really crazy, or I'm just gonna add a little bit. So here we are. This is the before, which was still, I think, the pose, you know, everything's working and it's great, but this is so much more warm, this is so much more summery, and I love it. And then you just pick them out, press this button and save to gallery, and here you go. You can go share it to the world. And then last but not least, this beautiful image, I'm gonna try and do like a slightly different pathway, or at least I'm not going to start with M5 like I did before, which was this one. I'm going to start with M3, which is slightly different. It's a bit darker and it doesn't make it as like nice and sunny, but you know, I'm going to show you how to still kind of work around it. So I'm going to M3, I'm going to go into it and lower it to around 6, so it's not as harsh. It just makes it, I think, a little bit more green brown. And then we're going to go into the settings, and again I'm going to start with shadows tint. This time, you know, before I was going with red and orange and yellow, this time I'm going to go purple. I'm going to lower it a little bit to around 9.23, something around that, and then go into highlights and choose this red color and lower it to around 7.3. So here we are. It's a bit more purple than the previous edits. Now I'm gonna go into highlights and shadows. So first I'm gonna go into shadows and bring it up to around 5, so that it kind of brings up the dark bits of the image, and then go into highlights and go all the way up to like 9.7, so the highlights kind of disappear and it looks crazy right now. It's almost like I've added fade, I guess, in a way, but instead of adding white, because what essentially fade does is like adds white color, I've kind of just done it in a different way. And then of course we're gonna go into like exposure. I'm gonna bring it down again, crazy, right? But let's go into contrast, and that should kind of help it a little bit. So now it's looking really crazy, but I love it. I want to go into temperature. So what it does is like it even brings it up to like really warm or really cool. So I just want to make it a little bit warm. So 0.6, that was hard to say. And then tint, again, it's either purple or green. So I want to add a little bit more of that greeny yellow because the image is very purple. So we're going to try and balance that out. So I'm going to go to like 1.2, something like that. I'm gonna go into skin tone, and again, skin tone, just either balances to the red side or the green side. I'm gonna bring it up to green to balance it out. There we are, looking fabulous. I'm gonna crop this smaller because it was very hard to kind of position the model and the flowers, and it's kind of disbalanced. So let me just crop in a little bit so that we look at the girl first, not like the room. And then I'm gonna add grain, which I love. So I just usually add around like, I don't know, 7 or whatever suits the image most, and it kind of helps the whole mood, I think. So here we are, this is the before and after. Now again, you can go in many different ways to edit, you know, it's really up to you. I've just tried to show you that you can go into all of these little things and toggle around and create your own little edit, opposed to just picking one of those. I mean, look how many there is. You can unlock these, but who wants to pay? No one wants to pay. So there you are. I edited 3 images for you guys. I hope you can implement that into your own editing. I know there's lots of great tools and a lot of different ways to colorize your images, but a lot of the times you have to pay for it. So if you can use the absolute minimum and use the free apps, but kind of know how to, you know, tweak and do little itsy bits, you know, you save money. And that's what I stand for, okay? We don't have to pay for filters when we can create ones. So yeah, I hope you enjoy that. Please like, subscribe, and all of that good stuff, and I will see you next time. Bye.